Hello, Faisal. It's really, really nice to meet up with you, and thank you for agreeing to talk with me regarding your journey with the South Asian Art Center. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish, and thank you for the invite. Really glad to be part of this initiative. So my background have been technology industry for 20 plus years. I've been fortunate enough to work both in smaller companies, startups, as well as at a executive level in a large public companies also. So mostly the various aspects of tech industry. I've been an investor, author, and also being currently I'm investing in early stage startups. So that's kind of my background. I did my master's and MBA, and then joined the Valley, and then I've been on it for last 20 plus years. Yeah.
What are some of the companies you've worked for?
Yeah, so most recently I was CTO of Sleep Number Corporation. We are a smart bed manufacturer, around $2 billion revenue. I was leading all aspects of product development, research, engineering there for 5 years. I also started my career at Cisco. I was part of a company called Global Logic, which became part of Hitachi. So that was a more larger organization where I led significant size teams. And then on the other side, there were startups. My last startup that I was part of was PlumGrid that was acquired by VMware. Then there was another startup in Southern California that was acquired by a company in Israel. And then the first one was acquired by Taleb. So I was fortunate that all the startups I'm part of were also went through an M&A. So been an interesting career, from few guys in a room to hundreds of people, managing hundreds of people. Yeah.
Great. And so, Faisal, what brought you to the South Asian Art Center? How did you think about joining our program?
That's a great question. So I'm consider myself a pretty healthy person, busy like most of our South Asian um, folks that are in technology, like busy schedules. But I will consider myself a moderately healthy person. So there was not an imminent need that brought me to South Asian. It was just I was discussing with a friend, and he suggested that given our background, our the way our DNA or our dietary habits are, he recommended that I at least try it out. So I did some research. I checked you guys out, and then I kind of joined your original program. I think it was around 2 or 3 years ago, and then since then I've been involved in some shape or form. So the key tip point that I will touch upon is that there was no health issue with me. I wasn't facing anything. I was pretty normal. I'm still very normal. It's just that I felt that I should do some proactive steps, and that was kind of the push came from my friend, and then that kind of brought me to you guys. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, as you came to the center, you may have done like an analysis of your risk profile, your laboratory tests, etc. So, what did you find there? Yeah.
So I think to answer that question, I think one thing that I liked was the way the program is structured. It is very methodical. It's step by step, and it's more about how regular and persistent you are, and the different dimensions, whether sleep, eating, exercise. So it's a multi-dimensional aspect that you have to improve your life. So when I started the program, obviously, I went through. I gave. There were some blood work that was done. There was some other testing that was done, and fortunately, the results were moderately, I'll say, decent. There was still an opportunity to improve, right? So I was in some cases borderline, and there were steps that I could take that can help make it better. The only flip side was that those steps are small steps and have to be done daily. Like it's like more about a regimen that you build, like a habits that you develop, which is always for humans the most challenging aspect, right? We like to do something quick and fast, and then if something small needs to be done every day for rest of your life, I think those are the harder challenges to overcome. So I got a good visibility into where I stand. It was still considered very healthy, but it was on a borderline area where if I don't do something different, in few years I will have issues. So thanks to the guidance that was provided by South Asian Heart Association, I brought in changes in my life. And it's been almost 3 years, and I've been very consistent with those changes. And the last, I think, testing that was done, it can show that you can make a change and have a positive impact without any typical shortcuts that we take, like medicines and all that. So took 2.5 years, but I think it was worth the effort. But the big part is because of South Asian Heart Association, because the way they structured the program, and then that gave me that push because I was almost there. I was not very unhealthy, or whether it's eating or other sleeping and all, but it was just that um, structure that was needed, guidelines that need to be defined, and slowly, step by step, I think it helped. There's one thing that I really give kudos to you guys, and that was the calcium test. So I had no idea what that is, and I don't know what it is for, and my primary care never recommended, but that was one of the testing that was done as part of the program, and results were all good, but it just helped me realize that such a simple test, but it's so important to know where you stand at this phase of your life so that you can make the appropriate decision. So these are all good things that help me. Small steps, micro steps, but it helped me. There are still challenges. I won't say I have solved every problem. So I think being more active, which I just had a session with the coach, and I think that's still a challenge for me. But trying my best here.
So that's very interesting. I'm keen to hear maybe some of your challenges and the barriers to implementing some of the changes that we were asking for and working with you on.
Yeah. So I think if you look at the building block that were explained to me, sleep was one of them. Fortunately, that was one of my strengths. So I've been in a sleep, as I mentioned, I was a CTO of a sleep company. I've done research in sleep. I've written papers on sleep. So I completely appreciate the importance of it. So that's something that I was already working on, trying to, whether it's regularity, whether it's duration, whether it's quality of sleep, and what factors add to make your sleep higher quality. So that's just that the importance was reaffirmed by by your program, and I think that helped me. So if I was at like 90, I went to 99 kind of there, right? So the second part was the eating and the diet, which is the hardest challenge for most of the humans, and I will say for South Asians especially because we are used to eating really exotic foods and and so I think that part helped me. It took me a while. I won't say it came naturally. Sugar or carbohydrates or other aspects of how much to eat, when to eat. How do you have greens and their vegetables? It wasn't easy. I will be very transparent, but step by step, I think I have come a long way in last 2.5, 3 years. And that also plays a big role in my overall health and the the test results that I think yesterday, the session I had was a few weeks ago, and she showed me, my coach showed me the both Leela, my 2 years and results and now. And you can see that they were I mean, I'll say day and night kind of a difference, I think have come in the right direction. So it took a while to, and I'll say it's not easy. So I think at least for the audience, it's not a shortcut. You have to do it, follow the program. You have to do it year after year. So that was, I will say, I will still classify that I'm like I got an A grade in that. And then the being more active, I think I'm still at like B minus, right? So I'm struggling there too because of the schedule and busy like all of us. I mean, which I think many of other folks that will go through the program will have extremely crazy schedules. I think that's the hardest. I mean, right now for me personally, that's the biggest challenge that I have to go through. I'm still going through that process. I won't say I will have crossed the chasm yet.
Well, thank you for being honest on that. It is a struggle, and getting, all aspects of lifestyle kind of firing on all cylinders all the time. It's really, really tough. I mean, you might be able to take care of one or two or three of them, but something kind of will lag behind, and that's the reality of life. So, but just knowing, what the work is and how you can get back to it is key. So you mentioned a few things about the structure of the program that's helped you. What else might you say were some of the things that really helped you get there and help you along the way?
So, having a checkpoint, I think if I remember, it was quarterly, or I mean, it was a checkpoint where you have a session where you have to show on all these dimensions what progress you made. You have to discuss. I think that was important. Um, Getting that, I'll say, program gives you more formality, like it gives you a framework to follow. I think that helped. Some people are very quantitative. They like checklists. They like more documented, structured path that they can follow. So that was also helpful. And then my personal desire, right? So when seeing the results and seeing that I need to make a change, that also added to it. So it's an aggregation of all these factors. But having a program that's structured, that have checkpoint, and it's not 1 month, it runs over an extended duration, and you have folks that care about that, right? So every call that I had, I felt the person on the other line. I had different coaches over the last 3 years, but whoever I was discussing, whoever was guiding me was involved, giving good advice, looking at the results. So that focus, that attention also gives you the desire that next time when I meet in 3 months, I want to better show some better results, right? So I think it's a mixture of it's an aggregation of many factors. Your desire has to be there from inside that I want to change, and then your program and the quality of your uh, um, advisors help. I think every person I talked to in the last 3 years is high quality.
Excellent. And so as we end, what might be your advice to your fellow community members as they contemplate on this health journey or on joining one of our programs, etc.?
Yeah, my advice would be take your health seriously. I will highly recommend your program. I will say take your health seriously when you are healthy. So that should be the case. Like, not when, so try to be proactive. Everyone is busy and everyone has those 24 hours in a day. It's all about prioritization. How much are you prioritizing your life, your health? I think that's a challenge. It's not easy. I won't say that it's easy, but I will highly recommend that given our genetic makeup, our where we come from, the dietary habits, the cuisine, the lifestyle, I will say this is important, and especially when you start getting into middle ages. Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add before we end?
Um, No, I think I will say that it's a great program. I will highly recommend. And I will also advise you that I found you through a friend, right? So I think maybe, I know it's a small organization, but I think somehow your, brand has to be more kind of,
Visible.
yeah. So I think because right now I've at least recommended you to at least 10 of my friends and family members, but it's a word of mouth right now still, right? So, yeah.